Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 9th of May, comes to you from London. It's been a long weekend in the UK for the King's coronation. So coming back to the markets, quite a lot of red on the screen. We'll look at currencies, then stock indices, commodities. We'll have a quick look at the bond yields and precious metals, and then we'll look at the energy mix, which is quite a little mixed picture there today as well, European energy. So we start by looking at the dollar. And we are just sitting on this low that we saw back in February. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure targets. And so we see the dollar has actually recovered a little bit in the last 24 hours on the 60-minute chart, but on the medium term, we are still firmly below the cloud, and on the long-term chart, we are as well. And as I say, that February low there, that's really quite key. About 101 is the level there that we need to hold. So we're sitting at 101.50 at the moment. We've got downside targets below 100 on the short-term chart, and we've activated this big downside target on the long-term chart to 82. So some 20% lower. So really quite significant if we do break below the cloud on the lagging line. The fact that we're through on the price is a warning signal. So we are seeing this deterioration in the dollar. Will we break higher or will we break lower? For the moment, it's looking like lower. The euro is back below the 110 level, just reflecting that increase in the dollar in the last 24 hours. It's just struggling to get through the cloud on the lagging line here, but the price is, and we're seeing here on the medium-term daily chart, we are still bullish above the cloud. The Japanese yen, quite interestingly, we're sitting at 135. The dollar's nowhere near making the lows here against the yen, remembering that if we fall here, this is dollar weakness, yen strength. And so it's quite key that the yen is normally a lead indicator, but now it's much more about the euro. Sterling sitting at 126.13. That's more than a 12-month high now. Really significant there. We're seeing that strength because we've got the interest rate decision in the UK this week. Almost certainly they will have to raise. Inflation is still very high in the UK at over 10%. And if we look at sterling against the euro, that's reflecting as well. We're just nudging this 115 level. Again, that's the highest level that we've seen since December. So we are just seeing here euro weakness or sterling strength really showing through. Bitcoin has fallen away. Yesterday it was down a few percent, back to 27,000. So quite interesting that it's not going up to that 54,000 target in a straight line. And we do have some downside targets here. So a pullback. We are still bullish on the medium term. Long term, we've still got work to do, but short term, we are bearish. The NASDAQ is sitting fairly pretty, actually, just nudging those highs, those 6-month highs with the upside targets there. But if we look at the S&P future, we can see here that we are really struggling at this 4,200 level, just can't get above that level, still finding cloud resistance there on the weekly. So we're really waiting for a break there. Looking at the future for the NASDAQ, we're down here about 1/3%, the same as the S&P. So it does look like US markets will open lower today. The FTSE future is down 0.3% following those US futures. And again, looking like a lower high from this high. So really this level here at about 7,300 is now the key. And we see here on the cloud, we just bounced on the cloud that time, but we're going to hold that. We're still long-term bullish, looking better than US markets on the long-term chart. But short term, we are seeing some weakness kicking in. The DAX in Germany down 0.16%. So that's still looking bullish on all three time frames, although the targets, there's not many clear targets. We do have one here too. 12.7%. Looking at Japan, we're up 1.3%, looking stronger there, and these upside targets all to play for and really showing the strength. They're really nearly 18-month highs now for the Japanese market. So looking very strong with upside targets, and again on the short term, really surging there. So that's quite key. We saw the Hang Seng down 2% and China down 1%. So a bit of a reversal there. And if we look at the Sensex in India, it was up very slightly. So that's quite key too. Aussie market was down very slightly. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Big move is gold. It's still holding this 2000 level, holding it convincingly now, really. And so just got to get to new highs. We've got upside targets to 2100, 2350. And of course, a lot of people feel that gold is going much, much higher. So it's quite interesting. We've still got these upside targets in place. Go to the bigger box sizes for the bigger targets. Looking at US 10-year yield sitting at 3.5%. Still bullish on that long-term chart, but medium-term we are bearish. We've got a tussle going on between the downside and the upside, and we have moved back to short-term bullish. We've got a target to 376 for the short term. All eyes on this US debt extension. That's going to be really quite key. Now, looking at the Brent crude chart, we've nudged and touched that 70 level, and it's really bearish below the daily cloud there. On the 60-minute chart, we have wandered back into bullish territory. We were neutral this morning, though, because we've got downside targets. It's just a mixed picture in our morning call to clients. The same with WTI, which has got these downside targets on the 1-minute chart. This is my daily, my 60-minute, my 1-minute, my medium term, short term, and very short term. If you're trading intraday, that's the chart you want to be looking at. Looking at the emissions chart, we see here that we've got a mixed picture. It was looking more bearish this morning. We've seen a little bit more price action recovering this morning, but still a pretty neutral picture. We're below the cloud on both charts, so not looking great for emissions. This 85-100 level is really what's key now on the longer term trend there. Quick look at US nat gas as well. That's looking better. We're bullish above the cloud here on the 60-minute, but again, we're seeing these short-term targets kicking in since the open this morning. European gas prices falling away again. We were neutral. The picture was mixed at the open, but we've got downside targets kicking in. It's why you need to watch it since the open. You can see here since then we've had downside targets kicking in, and we've got multiple downside targets. So that's looking like a fall away there. MVP not looking quite as bad, just waiting for this downside target to 80. 50 to be activated. We need a fall below 83 for that to happen. And German power was looking a bit stronger this morning, but it's pulled back as well. So just keep an eye on those 1-minute targets. That's quite key. Remembering the trading range now is 140, 150 euros. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Bye for now.